A low-flying helicopter ride presents the breathtaking beauty of the Mekong River Delta. This source of the Mekong is high up in the Tibetan Himalayas, and as the river flows into the South China Sea, its massive delta of waterways and canals make for some of the most fertile farmland in the world, and South Vietnam's most densely populated region. Yet to an American serving here in 1967, Vietnam will always be a land of great contrasts. For throughout these mangrove forests, coconut groves, rice paddies, and villages, the Viet Cong enemy thrived. And it was the job of the sailors assigned to the U.S. Navy's mobile riverine forces to sort out the good from the bad.
Wind 035 port, 9 knots over. 044, well our way in. Sign at 2, roger out.
Yankee Echo, Yankee Hotel, over.
An auxiliary barrack ship stationed just offshore served as home base for the crews of the Huey UH-1B helicopters, nicknamed Seawolf. These gunships were one of the critical elements of the Navy's forces here. Another critical element was the fiberglass and aluminum hull patrol boat River, or PBR. The Mobile Riverine Force, or Brown Water Navy, was a unique combination of the Navy's Task Force 117 and SEAL teams, working together with the Army's 9th Infantry Division. And mobile, the Riverine Force was, as it could travel 150 miles in 24 hours and be ready for combat within 30 minutes of anchoring. Each day, the Seawolf helicopters and PBRs would leave at dawn on a 16-hour patrol to search out and destroy the Viet Cong guerrillas, who considered the Mekong Delta their territory as well. Perfect coordination between the Seawolves and PBRs was imperative for successful operations and the minimization of casualties. Water seemed to be everywhere in the Mekong Delta during the monsoon season. With few formal roads, canals were the main avenues of transportation for the Viet Cong, and so all crucial Navy warfare tactics featured boats and helicopters in one way or another. The barrack ship also provided a mobile docking facility for numerous PBRs. Operations on the murky and shallow waters of the Mekong Delta required the PBR to be a very specialized craft. Only 32 feet long and drawing less than 1 foot of water, a PBR was propelled by a pump jet, as normal propellers would not have been able to survive the Delta's weed-choked waters. The PBRs were designed to be highly maneuverable and were capable of a top speed of 20 knots. A compact but sophisticated radar system searched for Viet Cong activity around them. A PBR was heavily armed for such a small boat, carrying twin 50 caliber machine guns facing forward and a 30 caliber gun facing aft. Throughout the Delta and in the infamous Rung Sat swamp marsh, the PBRs saw a considerable amount of action between the long stretches of tense boredom that occurred during a typical patrol. The waters of the Delta were traveled upon by the Vietnamese people in a long, narrow, and shallow draft boat called a sampan. A Vietnamese peasant family living in the Delta frequently carried everything they owned in the sampans, such as rice, livestock, and fishing nets. The Delta was filled with thousands of peasant sampans going every which way. However, sampans were also used by the Viet Cong to secretly move weapons and supplies. Perhaps the most confusing part of the war for a Navy sailor assigned to the Mobile Riverine Force was to know just who was Viet Cong and who was loyal to the South Vietnamese government. Each and every sampan was searched for any evidence of Viet Cong collaboration. But without uncovering hidden weapons, it was next to impossible to identify a Viet Cong guerrilla. Sometimes they were uncovered too late, as many Viet Cong sampans were booby-trapped. A noteworthy statistic from this war is that more than 10% of U.S. casualties were from crude, homemade booby traps. One of the many tragedies of the Vietnam conflict was the victimization of the peaceful villagers who received nothing but misery and death. While desiring only to go about their daily tasks, they were subject to constant search by the Navy and, it is reported, under continuous threat from the Viet Cong to cooperate with them. The Delta villagers were caught in the middle of this war and were treated with suspicion, fear, and intimidation from each side. An average of 300 sampans was searched during a routine patrol. The PBRs cruised tirelessly back and forth, up and down every river and canal. Most searches revealed nothing meaningful, yet it seemed somehow that the Viet Cong always found a way to conduct their Delta operations. The sailors would search where any tall grasses appeared to be broken, where a boat might have been beached, and at the mouth of every canal. Every twist and turn meant the possibility of encountering Viet Cong guerrillas. If a PBR crew couldn't find any Viet Cong, they only had to be patient enough to let the Viet Cong find them. The boredom of a patrol would only be relieved when they would dock back at the barrack ship, or when the Viet Cong would suddenly attack.
Turn port 180. Juliet, this is Iron Hat 2. Roger out. Rich, this is radio. Scramble Heroes. Okay, Bill. Check the fuel boost pump. Are we clear? Coming hot. Turn port 180.
Ready, read?
This is 4-3, region 5.
What's the story? Bro?
This is 4-3, interrogative your intentions this time.
This Kilo,
We're still receiving automatic weapons fire from the beach there. This is 4-3. Do you have the smoke on the beach?
this Kilo, that's affirmative, over.
Roger, that's the target area there.
Kilo, roger. No, this is Kilo, we'll make a fire run, over.
Kilo, this is 4-3. Let me know when you commence your run and we'll come in behind you there. Smoke in sight there. We received automatic weapons fire from the beach side and also from the tree line on either side of the smoke running from north to south. Over. Also, this is 4-3. Be advised, they have a 157 recoilless in there. Over.